much higher rate than this company, or would we spend taxpayer dollars wisely and hire someone to do it? That's the same question we had 2 weeks ago. And everybody knew when we got this breakout that it was going to be way more expensive to do it in-house. Everyone at this table knew that.
I think the biggest problem is we wasn't aware, the data was supposedly there. I reached out to Brownstown today, who was on a list of who does it in-house. They use a part-time guy 3 days a week, and he goes out, he does the letters, he does the inspection, and then he files the certificate saying they're in compliance. They don't do the testing. On that list they send out is a list of people that they can use to do that.
No, we don't do the testing either.
Right. Now, he did say, Brownstown does have, about probably, we have, they're around 700 somewhere in there, and we're at 1,100. So there is, it would probably require, either a full-time position. But it seems like one person is doing that job.
It's still more expensive with one person.
And they're running on an existing program. So
Right.
we have a lot of,
That's
what he did say. He did say that the startup, he goes, the biggest headache you're going to have is jumping back in.
So in terms of the cost analysis, we wanted to try to come up with a realistic cost analysis. So, you get into the argument, can you do 3 a day, can you do 4 a day, can you do 5 a day, and we tried to average that out, but to offset that, we did not use a veteran rate of pay. We used an entry-level pay. So we used the lowest pay in terms of the analysis, and we didn't factor in any type of training cost or overhead cost or any of that stuff. So in the analysis, it does come out higher. It is the lowest pay, and none of those other components are factored in.
So, real quick, how are we going to know that they're getting out, they're going to all these businesses? How are we going to monitor that?
They come in every day that they're in the city and come to my office, to the DPW. They show me the person that's coming and say, hey, these are my lists I'm doing today. I'm here today. Just want you to know, because they still communicate very well, because they get phone calls because they're scammers all the time, and business people call and say, hey, we got a guy here says he's checking. They call us and say, we verify it. But they come in and touch base with us. They give us a copy of the reports after they're done with them. We get copies of everything they do.
Okay.
And they give us a copy of their letters, they give us a copy of the reports, and they let us know when they're in town. And sometimes there's several people in on the same day, and they let us know their names and who they are at the time they come in.
Do we own the data that they come up with?
Yes.
Okay.
They provide us copies of everything.
So if we, as we talked before, I can arrange, or you can, or I can give you the numbers. I believe, and I sent you a picture, and you got it, but that our guys should know how to identify these, even when they're going, because next is houses. So we got guys going in the houses. They need to know how to identify these, what to look for, and not only identify the device, but identify a backdoor situation. So can we do some kind of continuing education so that just somewhere down the road, I truly believe that this program was on autopilot. The other guys that were doing it was doing it part-time and doing other things in the city. Just like when we had building trades. I didn't do plumbing all the time. I built the stage, I built the gazebo, I did a lot of other things too.
And we have, I've been advocating training with the DPW. We post any kind of available training that we have, and we're going to continue doing that. I truly believe that the more they know, the better workforce you have.
Where are we at with as far as, I don't know where we're at on the whole meter project, but we were actually going to talk about, weren't we going to replace the meters in homes?
That was going to be the next phase.
Okay. And maybe that's something that we can look at, maybe combining the two together. Just a thought.
So, Madam Chair, we did also, as Councilman Woolley indicated, we did, I'm not sure if it was Glenn or Keith that sampled some of the other communities nearby to try to get an idea of who was doing it in-house. And I did provide you with a list just to get an idea. I think Councilwoman Croft brought up the fact that HydroCorp was the only company that bid on this.
Real quickly, they're only coming around. there's one other company in Owasso that I know of.
Yeah, there was a small company we found in Washington Township or something, but that's what I was gonna bring up. To our knowledge, there's just nobody else in the area that does this type of work.
We got it from Brownstown, did see that too.
Yeah.
So Tayor Court is the only one.
They're also recognized by the state of Michigan. You know, again, I don't know anything about the company, but I know that in the conversation with the DEQ, they were very reputable with the DEQ. So the last meeting, we had a 3-year proposal. Obviously, we can't bring that proposal back because it failed. If council thought that was worth considering, I believe somebody that on the prevailing motion can bring it back. If not, then we have a 1 or a 2-year proposal that's also for consideration.
And I'd be willing to bring it back at the 3-year and discuss it.
If you guys have any other questions between now and tomorrow, I would suggest, reaching out to one of these guys that have knowledge. If you guys want to speak to one of the other communities, we can arrange that. I know that Brownstown, they do have a new DPW director.
Turner, I thought.
Yeah, he was the assistant director in Van Buren. He's only been on the job for about a month, so he's relatively new. You might want to reach out to either Riverview or one of the other communities and just get their take
I
on it
was
as
just
well.
kind of getting a base idea, I mean, he's pretty knowledgeable with the whole system and everything.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. Mark Gary retired a few months ago, and they replaced Mark with him. So, but he does come from Van Buren, and he was very involved over there.
How much of hydrochloric feed is the reestablishment of data, would you say? I just can't.
That's hard to say. They give us a lump sum based on the paperwork and the inspections and their travel time. That all takes into account.
I don't understand how we could have a 3-year contract from 2 weeks ago for 150, just short. And they'll come back at 102, 142.5.
He told me that's because if he does it in a year or 2 years, he has less travel time because he's knocking a year off. And that's basically how the price was reduced, is because of the travel time. They're paying they're using their own vehicles and they're driving, around the whole community, and
So he,
that's what he told me.
so you're saying he would do the work of 3 years in 1 year?
Correct.
Yes, but I just would caution you on the 1 year, because we do have to have this program approved by the DEQ, and because we have been deficient, just some of the conversations, they may be apprehensive on just approving a 1-year program.
Our recommendation would still be 3 years, if not 2, and then ultimately, if nothing else, then 1. But I think allowing adequate time for the process to work itself out, I think would be in the best interest of everyone.
Okay, my question is though, if the DEQ would allow us 3 years to catch up, right? Why does HydroCorp have to do the whole 3 years' work in 1 year?
I think that's the RFP that went out was for a certain number of homes. It wasn't necessarily, it was a certain number of addresses.
Why can't we cut that by 1/3, send out a new RFP for 1/3 the number for 1 year, and in the meantime,
So
we look at doing it in-house?
So a couple reasons. Number one, I don't think, I don't know that HydroCorp would bid on it at that point in time. We would have to talk to them. Number
They're the
two,
only game in town, so
number two, we
They're
don't have.
monopoly, right? That's what you're saying, they're monopoly.
they are.
Yeah. Number two, we don't have, the DEQ has only given us 30 days to identify a plan, and we would probably fall outside of that 30 days with the new RFP. And number three, the state has to approve it, and I'm not sure if the state would approve it. We're in a bit of our backs are against the wall. I don't think there's any other easy way to put it.
Any other questions, Dan? Okay, let's go to item number 21, which is the extension of the towing contract. We put this in here on the recommendation of whatever they call themselves, a committee, a commission, task force, get reviewed. Probably the requirements and put together an RFP and,
So this motion, does it mean we're gonna, each month, we're gonna vote to extend?
I hope not.
Madam Chair,